Welcome back to Marato. I am so excited to be here for my fourth round. Today we are going to be focusing on our cycle network and transportation. Let's get started. So the first thing I want to fix is I'm going to remove this rock right here so I can actually get this little bike path I put in to connect, because it clearly didn't fully connect. And we've got this lovely bike bridge that Jukaboa put in, and I want people to be able to bike over to the other side of our city. Up next, we've got this lovely bike connection I put in, and we've got this bike road that runs across here. I think it would be important to create a pedestrian connection and bike connection here. So what I'm actually going to do is pull a pedestrian path all the way through to our bike road and then upgrade our bike road just underneath the highway to a pedestrian path, so that way you could walk or bike across to that side of our city. Now this main street in New Riverdale, there's the metro stop here. There's also a bus stop here. So I'm just going to pull that bike road just through the center of town here. Let's change out these trees, and that will just again help facilitate that pedestrian movement through this side of town. Now we've got the train here next to Raid's ruined waterfront. I think a little more of a direct walking path to the entertainment hub would be very useful for this area. Second, I am going to upgrade this road to the road with trees and bike lanes now that we have that, and again, making sure we're facilitating that bike movement everywhere through our city. And I've gone ahead and made sure I use the same trees that Raid had, and I just love how that looks. I think that is so nice, and again, we're just getting fully connected. Back in New Riverdale, I'm going to add the bike road with trees. I just love how that looks. Now, through this area, if you watch my episode, all of this is really well connected with bike paths and pedestrian paths. So I think that part of the city is really well connected. We don't need to be able to bike to our industrial area. I do think we could make a little improvement here in Linden and just add that bike lane with trees, even though we have bike lanes already here, but just, I'm obsessed. I love that we now have the option to have trees and bike lanes. I might as well update all of our bike roads. I love this little transit hub I put in last time with the pedestrian roads with the bike lane or the bus roads. I think that looks so nice. I love how this turned out. Okay, let's keep upgrading our bike roads. And I didn't show you guys this last time, but I did add a little pedestrian path to the back end of this housing development I put in. So you don't have to walk all the way around the block, which is really nice. Okay, let's finish up these final roads and we'll change out the trees. I just think these look so nice. Okay, this is part of the city I have not been fully acquainted with yet. So I've got my bike road here. So I think now that we have the tram and bike road, which is so nice, we can actually upgrade this as our bike network all the way up. I think that would be really good to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue our bike network through here with the bike and tram roads. Now I've taken away a lot of parking, so I think I'm going to use this little section back here to add in some parking for this area of the city. And back here, I do think we can create a little bit more of a pleasant walk if people were walking from that side of the city where they live to come over here to work in this industrial area. So this would just be a little bit more enjoyable than walking on the street. And we can add in some more parking here as well. Now coming over to the other side, this is where our bike road ends, and I do think it would be so nice if there was just a faster way to get over to this side of the city, because if you lived over here and worked over in the farms, it would be a very far drive and kind of cumbersome for getting on public transit, and there's a lot of traffic in this area, so I think that little cut through is going to be highly utilized. Now, to facilitate bike movement through this area, which I think would be very valuable, we have this large collector, and I think we could upgrade this whole thing to that larger bike road with trees. And we're still keeping our 4 lanes, we're still keeping our large collector size, but then we are encouraging bike traffic. I don't think I want to bring it across the bridge, but maybe I'll start it right here and just go all the way up. Now coming back down, I think we can pull a bike road through this little town here, again, just to help facilitate the people that live and work here to be able to ride their bike directly to their destination or a block or two close to it, especially now since we have these bike road with trees. I know I can't stop talking about them. It really does help, because then you can keep the aesthetics of an area but then facilitate bike movement. All right, I'm very curious to see if, yes, people are using this cut through, quite a few. This is what I wanted to see. I think this is going to help facilitate movement and help bring down our traffic big time. Bonus, we have our tram stop right here. You could take the tram and walk over to work. You've got the bike lane that dead ends right there. I think that's going to be such a valuable add to this part of our city. Here we are on the island, and it is not so large. You could totally walk the distance of the island. It would be a good hefty walk, but it's not crazy. But I do think there's a big benefit to bringing in a bike road that circles around and through the island. So again, we're just facilitating and encouraging people to hop on their bikes instead of taking their cars. All right, so essentially we have a bike loop that goes all the way along the outside. Now I want to bring one that goes directly through to the meetup at the transit hub. Okay, so I think that's that side of the island pretty well. This side of the island, there is, you know, this bike road, and then we've got the one right along the waterfront. I do think these are really long blocks and it doesn't really facilitate good pedestrian movement. So I think doing a little redevelopment and bringing a bike road or a pedestrian path through this area would be so highly valuable, and again, just help move people easier down to the transit hub. Okay, I'm just gonna pull this road right through and everything will redevelop really quickly. We're not having to get rid of too many things. Okay, I do need to make this connection here straight up to our bike network. Perfect, we'll just fill this back in. And this is gonna be so great for everyone living on the island. They can really easily bike to anywhere on the island and to the transit hub. Okay, now it's time to slow things down, take a page out of Cities by Stephen's book and do a full and complete transit audit and just take our time and slow it way down so that you guys can follow everything I'm doing. So I'm looking at the ferries first and just going through each one and kind of seeing what our activity is like. So not getting a lot of action on that. I believe this is the ferry that is going from Jukaboa's area over to the nature reserve. Yes. So that one's not getting a ton of action as of yet, and that's not super surprising. Okay, so then let's go back in and look at, so let's look at our ferry line 1. So this is, oh wait, maybe this is, see, now I'm confused myself. Okay, I think this is the ferry that goes to Jukaboa's area. So that is getting usage. So it's the ferry line 3 that's not getting usage. Okay, and then ferry line 2, this is getting really good usage. I think ferry line 1, the one that's not getting used, is the one that I put in potentially. Let's take a look at this again. Oh, all right. Bear with me, guys. This is unedited transit audit. Okay, so you know what I like to do with my ferries is I like to create, so there's ferries, one that goes in one direction and then one that goes in the other direction, like you would set up a bus line. And I think with just a little bit of editing, we can do that. And then that would encourage way more usage of our ferries and just get everyone to where they need to quicker, because you can go to the ferry and go either one way or the other way. So I think that is what we are going to do here. So I think I'm actually going to start fresh. We're going to delete the 3 lines, and then we don't have to delete a lot of our actual ferry paths. We just need to change 1 or 2 things. So we're going to delete all of these. Okay, so now we just want to slightly change this up. Let's get rid of this one. And that can actually stay. I think we just need to draw. Don't have to actually change much here. I think we can come from here and just attach up to there. That's perfect then. Okay. Actually, I think that's all that we need to do to get this to go the way we want it to. So come to there and then come down to here, up, and then complete the line. So then we have 1 ferry going in one direction, and then this will be, yeah, 4 ferries. I think that'll be good. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so then let's put the ferry going in the other direction. So we're gonna come over here, come down here, come over to here, and then back, complete the line. Now this is good. We have a ferry going in each direction. It hits all the stops, and I think we will see our usage on these go up, and I think 4 ferries on each should be fine. We'll come back and check and see how that's working later on. There is a lot of transit on this map, so we've got a lot to get through, but I think that is going to be a good setup for our ferries. I'm very happy with that. Okay, let's go back in and let's look at our train. High-speed train. Okay. There's actually not a ton of usage. I think from a budget standpoint, that's really why I'm going through to do this transit audit, because our budget is not great. And I think we're probably using more transit than we need. So I think this could just be a regular smaller train. And I think we can even notch that down to 3. Let's see how that goes. We'll come back and check on that. Okay, that's the train. Let's look at the, oh, we have a lot of metro lines. Okay, we're gonna go through the metro lines. It's really important that you do this in your city, to go through and just kind of look to see where all your transit is. So that's fine. That's working. Let's go here. This one we can definitely take down to 1. That'll save us a little bit of money. Okay, that's fine. Okay, we definitely don't need lazy pedestrian line. I love this. Okay, I think this can go to a smaller one and just stick with 1. That's gonna be fine. It's such a short line anyways. Even if that does get full, you don't have to wait long for the next one. So I think that's gonna work out just fine. Okay. All right, next, again, we don't need this much capacity. I think we can take this to a regular metro and bring this all the way down to 1. That's gonna be great. Okay, next one. Now here, we got the opposite problem. We've got a ton of people that need to get places. And see, this wasn't even, when we were just looking at the list, it didn't even show that there was this many passengers. So that's why it's good to get in and actually look. So let's go with this high capacity metro. This is the 500, right? Yeah, that's the 500. So let's actually take this up to 4, and then we'll let that run. We'll come back and check on that. Okay. This one, I think this is the right size metro because we've got 400 people waiting here, but that means they're not all going to get picked up. So I almost want to add to this one just so everyone gets picked up. So I think that's a good move there. Okay, the Partey line. I love all of our metro names, by the way. Okay, so that's out here. This makes sense then. Okay, so again, I don't think we need this much capacity. So I think we could come down to a regular metro and probably go to 4, and I think that would get everything going just fine. Yeah, sometimes, like I said, this is not the funnest thing to do, to go through everything slowly, but I think it's always important to go through and just see what's actually going on in your transit. Okay. We've got, well, everyone will get picked up, which is good. So maybe we leave that one as is. Okay, here's the last one. Okay, where is this one? All right, so good amount of people waiting. This line gets used quite a bit. I almost wonder if we take this up one. Just because I'm worried that one stop, I want everyone to get picked up. And then I think we can drop this down to 3 with that higher capacity. So let's see how that goes. Again, we'll come back and look at all of these and see how they're performing. Okay, trams, here we go. Okay, we got our VB line. That's fine. Madison Heights. I think we can take this down to 2 and still get everyone scooped up. All right, let's look at this one. Wow, okay. There is a ton of people waiting here, so we need to get this fixed. There's like 500 people sitting here. All right, now this is fun because now we have all these new trams with all these different sizes. So let's, come on, work with me here. Okay, so what's our highest capacity? 132, 140. Okay, let's do that. And let's take this up to 4 and let that run. And then we'll come back and check on that one. Okay, we definitely don't need that much at all. Let's take this down. All right. All right, what do we have here? This is a really long line. So it'd almost be better to have more trams on this one, just so people aren't waiting as long. So I think that's a good call. All right, let's see what's going on here. This looks pretty good. Let's just see, does everyone get picked up here? That's always a good indicator for me. So no, everyone did not get picked up. So let's see. We take this one. Oh my gosh. Let me scroll down. Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. All right, so maybe we go with the 105. I think that's gonna work well. All right, there's all our trams. Okay, we don't have any trolleys. Now to the buses. This is gonna take a minute. All right, we got our mini shuttle. This is working fine. That can stay a minibus. This ferry shuttle is also working fine. In fact, this just needs to be 1. Let's see what we got. So a lot of buses and not much usage at all. So I think we could really take this down. You guys are seeing the torture I have to go through to get this to go in the center so I can look at it. If there's an easier way to do this and I'm just not knowing how to do that, please let me know. Please let me know. I'm sure you guys are laughing at me right now. Okay, so, okay, let's look at the next one. See, I hate that it just doesn't pop up in the middle. You have to scroll over the screen to get it to like come to where you can see the whole thing. It's like one of those little things that annoy me with the game. Okay, that one's fine. This is gonna be an interesting episode. Okay. So not everyone's gonna get picked up here. So I think we need to add a minibus. All right. Looks like this one is fine. Please, if someone has a suggestion on how you can, when you open this up, how you can get it to go in the middle without having to like move around, please let me know. And I bet it's something simple. I just don't know it. All right, that one looks okay. All right, so wow, we've got a lot of buses. All right, that's fine. Where were we? Okay. Two Hill Circular. That one looks fine. Oh my gosh. Welcome to the most boring episode of Skyline 6. Okay, we got 234 people sitting here and they are not getting picked up. I'm sorry, but the minibuses are not gonna work here. They're not doing the job. Whoa, we've got a lot going on here. Wait, isn't this a teeny tiny town? Whoa, okay. We've got a metro here out in the country. Interesting. Well, that's good. Look at all the people taking the metro. They love it. This is great. So if this many people are taking the metro, now I do know that the bus stop should be in the town square area, because that's where we made the little walking path so people can safely walk. So let's move this bus into the town square, so that way it's off the main road. So that's good. Really great. Okay. 200 and some odd people. Where are they going to, though? That's the question. Interesting. All right, well, let's do this 60. Because I don't think a double-decker bus would really fit this area. Or should we just go ahead and do the bendy bus? I'm torn, guys. I want everyone to get picked up. We'll come back and check on this one. I think that will work for now. All right. Skyline Park locals, light pink. This is a long line. So that one's doing fine. Okay. This one. So very little activity here. We can move this one down. All right, next one. Okay, we're gonna change gears and let's look at the buses with the highest capacity. Okay, Two Hill connection line. We have so many buses on this. I feel like we can take this way down and just kind of let that sort itself out. And then we can come back and check on that. I see that one line is already filling up, but I think we definitely don't need that many buses. That's a little crazy. All right, we'll come back to that. We'll let that sort itself out. Okay. We've got the large 100 capacity bus here. I think we can also take this one down and then come back and check on it. All right. Rato Circle. Yeah, this is a really long line and it's pretty well used. I feel like we either need some higher capacity or a few more buses. Let's come back and check on that. Okay, let's also bump this one up to 7. We'll give it one more as well. All right, Friday Night Lights. I think this one can just go to like a regular like this, maybe this 60 capacity bus. I feel like that would be good, and we can probably move that to 4, and that would be fine. We're making all these changes in the city. People are gonna be a little unhappy for a minute because they're all gonna have to be waiting for their buses to get to them. But it will all work out. It will all work out. It's good to do these kind of painstaking audits in your city, just to make sure that you don't have people sitting and waiting. And I think I saw on one of Biffa's videos, there's a new mod that he's been playing with that actually will like give you like a warning thing when you've got a bus with a lot of people waiting, which I think is so cool. But we're playing vanilla, so this is the painstaking way you have to do this if you are playing vanilla. So I think we're gonna go, should we do this 81, 70, 80? It's so great now at the game that we have all these different bus options now and tram options. It's so good, because then you can really audit your transit like this and make sure that you're being efficient with your transit budget, which is super important. Okay, I think we went through everything. Whew, that was a lot, guys. I hope that wasn't too incredibly boring, but I feel like it's always good to do that and take a look at your transit. Our traffic is, you know, we're red in areas, but everyone's still moving, and our traffic's 82%. So I'm actually quite happy with that. So I think we are actually in a really good place. We'll have to let things run and then check back and see how things are moving. But I think all the bike infrastructure that we added today, all the connectivity, and then really just doing that fine tune on our audit, I think is really just help get this city in a good spot. Okay, I want to go and look at our ferries now, because those have been running for a good while while we were doing all of the other transit. So now we've got our 2 ferry lines, and we're one going in one direction and one going in the other direction. This is great. We do have a lot of people waiting. That's the one thing I wish we would have gotten with that update, is like some different ferry capacities. That would be so great. We're gonna bump that up to 6, and I think that'll be fine. Let's check the other direction. Oh, even more people. That's fine. We'll bump this up to 6 as well. Man, I wish there were different capacity ferries, because also like 50 people on a ferry. I live in the Pacific Northwest. I've been on lots of ferries, and it's way more than 50 people, I'll tell you that. So I like when I have lines like this, I like having an even amount on both. So we're gonna put 8 ferries on both sides, and that's gonna take care of everyone real nice. But I like how this is set up now. I feel like that's working really well. Okay, we're not gonna look at everything. I just want to check a few things. I think we're actually getting more usage on our train, which is great. That's nice to see. Okay, let's just check in on a couple of our metro, like the ones that have the most amount of passengers here. Whoa, I don't think this had that much usage when we looked at this last time. This is very good. Let's bump this one up. That's great. Look at that. That'll clear out in no time with 2 of the 500 capacity. Yeah, this'll work perfect. Okay, let's look at our other higher capacity here. Lots of people using this stop. Looks like everyone's getting where they need to, and everyone's getting picked up. So I think this is working just fine. Okay, again, we're not going to look at everything. I'm just looking at a couple of the higher capacity ones here. So we put the 500 for, and it looks like that's working to get everyone picked up. Let's just check on Civic Center. Yep, I think that's working really nicely. And let's look at the party line. Whoa, okay, see, this is why it's good to check this, because now look, this was not this much of a high capacity, so I think we need to change this because everyone's not getting picked up. And even though it's a short ride, we want everyone to get picked up. So let's go, this is a 200 capacity, and then I think we can leave it at the 4, and that will be fine. And look at this one. Oh, okay, so now, all right, so what is happening is we took down the capacity, and then we had a bunch of tourists come in. So even though this is a really short ride, we do need that high capacity that was on here to begin with, even though when we looked, there wasn't that many people, but that's because a ferry hadn't, or a cruise ship just hadn't come in. So should have left that one alone. Okay, let's check and see how, I think we're done here. Let's go and look at, just check on a couple tram lines. Again, we don't need to go through absolutely everything, but let's at least check on these ones with, that one looks fine with higher capacity. Just do a quick check. That one's working. Let's just look at one more here. So yeah, everyone's being picked up. That's good. Okay. The buses haven't been running for too long, but okay, let's just take a quick look here. So again, this is a long line. We've got our 70 capacity bus. Not everyone is getting picked up. Let's see. Does this completely empty out there? Maybe we just need to up the buses on this one. Maybe to like 8. That should do the trick. I think that's gonna work fine. Okay, let's just check a couple more here. See, this is why you need to go back and check. Look at this one now. Now the capacity, like, wow, 300, 400, 500 people waiting. That's a lot. So we probably need to go to our 100 capacity, the super bendy bus, and we probably need to go to maybe 5. I think that will do the trick, hopefully. This is why it's so good to audit your transit, let things run, and then look at them again after they've had some chance to kind of kick in. All these buses. I think that's the other thing too, when you make all these changes to your transit system all at the same time, then all the buses go back, all the new buses come out, and then your stops do pile up with more people. So it's something to keep in mind too. So I think we're good. Let's just take one more look. Yeah, so now this is working fine. That's great. There's still so many people on this one. I'm a little concerned. I think we need to go with that higher capacity metro. There's a lot of stops. I don't want people waiting too long. That one looks all right. Well, I think just letting the city run, and then maybe whoever gets in next can take a peek. But I think we did a really good job auditing the transit today, making sure we had pedestrian and bike connections. And I think our city is humming along. We have, you know, 83% traffic is fantastic for vanilla. So I think we're doing a great job. This is Joy from the future coming in. Some of you might have noticed that Valley's airport is not on this map, and it wasn't included in my transit audit because this was filmed before Valley did his live. Exciting news up next. We have Captain Obvious coming in as a guest builder, so stay tuned for that next Sunday. And we've decided to do a 5th round of the collaboration, which I am so excited to get back in the city and build again. I hope you guys enjoyed this little connectivity transit audit today. I hope you all have a joyful day, and I'll catch you next time.